Okay, hi guys. This is I'm going to be demonstrating the 15-minute rubric validation for your physical assessment, and my guinea pig is going to be my husband, Mr. Wilson. So you're going to start. What's your name?
Mr. Wilson.
Okay, and what's your birth date?
March 21st.
Okay, and how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling wonderful.
Okay, do you have any pain? Are you having any ideas of hurting yourself?
No, no, and no.
Okay, and what's the date today?
May 29th,
Okay, what day is it?
Friday.
Okay, and what's 2 plus 2?
4.
Okay, got that one.
Pass.
Okay, so then as you go through, you're going to start with your head to toe assessment, following pretty much the rubric. If you skip something and come back to it, you're okay. So I'm going to be looking at the scalp. There's no lesions, no bruising. He's got thin hair, but it's good. It's not dry and brittle. No lesions on his head. If I'm looking at his face, he's moving his facial features symmetrically. So, okay, let me get a flashlight here. Okay, my pin light is at work, so I have a flashlight. So as I go through, I'm going to be looking in his ears, and they're clean without any discharge. His other ear is also any pain when I pull on your ear?
No.
No, okay. So then you can go right into, let me look at your nose. Okay, his nose is dry without drainage. Open your mouth, please. Okay. The mucosa in his mouth is pink and moist. There's no lesions. He has a few cavities. Okay, and you can, see his tonsils are not visible, so they're not enlarged. Okay, then we can go down to, I'll do all the cranial nerves in a little bit, so we can go down and, okay, I've done his face. I can do the neck, the lymph nodes. These are the pre-auricular, post-auricular, behind the ears, occipital, tonsillar or retropharyngeal. These are the submandibular, submentum. And as you turn his head, this is the sternocleidomastoid muscle. The superficial chain is in front of it. The deep chain is behind it. Okay, and then on the clavicle. While you're here, you can also look at the JVD, and there's no distension of the jugular vein, so that's good. And I can look at his neck. The thyroid or the trachea is straight. The thyroid, you palpate on both sides, is mobile and spongy. Okay, and no pain. Okay, so then as we go down, okay, I'll listen to his carotid as we do the heart rate and stuff. Okay, so moving down to the cranial nerves. First cranial nerve is olfactory. So what do you smell?
Chocolate.
Okay.
Bittersweet.
All right, so that's olfactory nerve, cranial nerve 1, and I can let him have it as his reward. So he can taste the chocolate, and you taste the chocolate, right? All right, so cranial nerve 2 is the Snellen chart, which you guys don't have to do. Cranial nerve 3, we're going to be looking at pupillary dilation. You want to shine the light in one eye and then the other, and it constricts. You also will have them then do the extraocular movements. So you're moving up. Keep your head still, please. Okay. Okay, and he can move his eyes smoothly in all directions, so there's no nystagmus or any issues like that. Okay, so that's, okay, so then that's cranial nerve 3, 4, and 6. Cranial nerve 5 is the facial nerve. The sensory function is, we test with cotton. You feel that. You feel that in all areas. The motor function for cranial nerve 5 is the temporal mandibular joint, and he's chewing. Okay, any pain when you chew? Okay, open and close your mouth. Okay, move your jaw side to side. Okay, and there's no pain, no clicking with that. Okay, and then cranial nerve 7, we did the taste because he can taste the chocolate. Okay, now if you can, to test the motor function, raise your eyebrows. Okay, puff your cheeks. Okay, smile for me. Frown for me. Okay, so he has symmetrical facial movements. Okay, cranial nerve 8 is the acoustic. So we're going to do the whisper test. Okay, so I'm going to cover his ears and you're going to repeat.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, over here.
BBC.
Okay, so the hearing is good, and we can have you, if you would stand up for me, please, sir. Close your eyes and just stand straight. Close your eyes. Okay, so this is Romberg. You just don't want to make sure that he's not swaying and stuff. Okay, go ahead. Thank you. So there's no vertigo, which would be the vestibular apparatus in the ear. Okay, cranial nerve 9 and 10 is, I don't have a tongue depressor, so I'm using the plastic knife, the edge. Okay, so if you can open your mouth, stick the tongue out. Oh, wait. Okay. Okay. Okay, so you don't have to necessarily make your person gag, but you want to see that they have a gag reflex, which is cranial nerve 9. Cranial nerve 10 is watching that uvula. It's midline and rises with the soft palate when he says ah. That's cranial nerve 9 and 10. Cranial nerve 11, can you shrug your shoulders? Okay, and he can shrug his shoulders against resistance. And cranial nerve 12 is, can you stick your tongue out, move it side to side? Okay, so that's a hypoglossal cranial nerve 12, and he can do that. So as we get into, I can go ahead, I can skip the upper arm extremity and go pick up some of the heart and lungs at this point, and the carotid. Okay, so I'm going to palpate the carotid. Okay, and he's got a good steady pulse. Okay, and I'm going to auscultate, make sure there's no bruise. Okay. Okay, he's got a good pulse. All right, so let's go down to, let's do the upper arms. Okay, we'll go in sequence. So I'm looking at his upper chest configuration. The AP diameter is half of the lateral diameter because he does not have a barrel chest. Skin turgor is good. He drinks his water. And, you know, if he had his shirt off, I would look at any scars, bruises, anything like that. Okay, the next thing you want to do is look at upper body range of motion and body strength. So if you can bring your arms up, bring them up over your head. Okay, bring your arms back behind you. Okay, can you bring your arm? Okay, bring your arms up. Bring your arms up against resistance. Okay, so he can raise his arms against resistance, so that's good. Can you bring your shoulders all the way around? So especially with an older person, you want to check the range of motion to make sure that they don't have arthritis. Not that you're old, but you know, these guys are like in their 20s, and so they don't realize decreased range of motion. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is check pulses. Okay, so if you hold your arm out, you're going to check the brachial
They can't see.
pulses. Okay, then you're going to check the radial pulses. You want to check them bilaterally at the same time, make sure they're symmetrical, and the ulnar pulses. Okay, there's no signs of edema, bruising, any scars. The skin is warm and dry. All right, now reflexes. This may be a little bit of a challenge because I don't have a reflex hammer, so we have a wrench. So we're going to see if it's going to work. All right. All right. So we're going to check the the bicep pulse. I'm sorry, bicep reflex. Okay. Okay. Look at the video I gave you guys. Some people just don't elicit reflexes very well. Okay, some people do. All right, so that's where you would check the bicep. This is the tricep flexor arm. And you get a little bit of a twitch down there, not much. Okay, so that's the tricep. This is the brachioradialis. Now, when you check the brachioradialis, you want to check this is the main body of the muscle. And where you want to strike is at the tendon level. So you want to feel where the main body of the muscle is and where it turns into a tendon. And then you want to strike about that level.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so you get a little bit of a twitch. You're not going to get like big twitches.
Not with that.
No, well, and they should have their reflex
hammer.
hammer. Yeah, you should have your reflex hammer. Okay, so you're going to check reflexes. Next, you're going to check, and I think we dropped the Fallon sign and the Tenniel sign for carpal tunnel. But to demonstrate it, can you put your hands together like this? And you hold this position for about 60 seconds. If they have any tingling, it could be a sign of carpal tunnel. The Tenniel sign is also test for carpal tunnel, and what you're doing is you're compressing the medial nerve. Any tingling? No. Okay. So no signs of carpal tunnel. You're also, while you're looking at the hands, you're looking at cap refill, okay, which is less than 2 seconds. There's no clubbing. He's never smoked in his life, no COPD. And I think what else? I think that hits most of. Okay, so then moving down to, going to listen to the heart. Okay, this is the aortic valve. Second intercostal space, right sternal border. S2's louder. Okay, pulmonic valve, second intercostal space, left sternal border, S2. This is Erb's point, third intercostal space. Tricuspid is fourth intercostal space, left sternal border. And mitral valve is fifth intercostal space, midclavicular line. And this is also where you're going to get the apical pulse. So while I'm on the apical pulse, I can also palpate his carotid artery to see if there's any pulse deficit. Okay, and there's not.
Oh, good.
That pulse deficit would be seen if the person had lost a lot of blood, was hypovolemic, something like that. All right. Now listening to the lungs. Okay, you're going to be starting at the apex of the lungs. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take some deep breaths while 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, if you turn around for me. All right, so listening to the back, you're going to start again at the apex. Take some deep breaths for me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and again the lateral lungs. Okay, lateral lobes over here under the arm. And while you're back here, you can do the respiratory expansion. Take a deep breath for me. Okay, you want to see that the lungs are expand symmetrically. Okay, I think that's it. So, okay, we need to do your abdomen. If you want to just lie down for a minute over there on the couch, just for a second.
Okay.
Listen to bowel sounds. All right. Yeah, I think, okay, we'll just be here for a minute. Okay, so when you do your abdominal assessment, you're going to be checking, asking questions. When was your last bowel movement?
Smart.
Okay, and when did you void last?
Word.
Pee.
Oh, I don't know. Could I?
Okay, any pain, any bleeding when you
No.
do your urine, anything like that? Okay, so you want to assess the abdomen. Are there any scars? Are there any bruises? Any hernias? Anything like that in the on the abdomen? Okay, I'm not going to make you pick up their shirt. Okay, next thing we're going to do is auscultate. We're going to auscultate all 4 quadrants for bowel sounds. And we just had lunch.
Can they hear you?
I don't know.
You did too
Okay,
close.
so we're also, I think they can. Okay, then we're going to percuss. Okay, over in this area, it's going to be dull because that's where the liver is. Okay, and then you're going to palpate. So tell me if you feel any pain at all. Okay, any pain over here?
No.
Okay, so his abdomen is soft. No pain. We're also going to auscultate the aorta. Okay, there's no bruise.
Nice valve action.
Okay, the renal arteries over here right below the rib cage. And the iliac artery bifurcates at the umbilicus. So it's going to be in the lower quadrants. Okay? And there's no bruise. So Mr. Wilson, if you want to come back over here, please.
Well,
Oh, that's okay. All right, hopefully you guys could see that okay. So the next thing we're going to do is look at the lower extremities. We're going to check his reflexes. Sit back a little bit so your legs dangle a tad.
Well, that's pretty hard to do.
All right, well, relax him though. Just let him hang. Okay, so you're going
That worked.
to check. Okay, well, that one worked.
That worked.
All right, so you're also, okay, so we did that just to get that move out of the way. You're going to look at his legs. Is there any edema, varicosities, any bruising on the legs? Okay, check the pulses. So if I'm checking his feet, I'm going to check cap refill. I'm going to check the dorsal pulse and also the posterior tibialis pulse. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to do is stand up for me. And we can push this guy out of the way a little bit. All right, so we're going to check range of motion in the lower extremities. So I want you to, can you bring your knees up one at a time? Okay, can you bring it up against resistance? Okay. All right, move, step up, okay. Swing your hips out. Swing your leg out. Swing your leg out this way. Okay, so he's got good range of motion in his hips and strength. And let's see, while he's standing up, if you could turn around. Okay, walk backwards. Okay, back to the couch. All right, and then walk forward. So we're looking at his gait. Okay, now go back and do it heel to toe. Okay, so he's walking heel to toe because that
Right.
takes a little bit more coordination, which is why they have the police has you do it that way. You're also looking at his balance. We looked at Romberg, his gait. Now, the other ones that we have to do are the upper cerebellar coordination. So if you can do rapid hand movements like this. Okay, so that looks at the upper cerebellar coordination and also opposing fingers. Okay, the lower cerebellar coordination, if you can bring your heel up to your shin and run it down. Okay, and do the other side. Okay, heel on your shin. That's your count.
Oh.
Okay, so run it down. Okay, so he has good coordination. He didn't fall over. A little bit, so that's basically what you're going to be doing. Thank you, Mr. Wilson. So that's basically what you're going to be doing. So next week, when I call you for your time slot, try to have everything ready, have your person ready, so that when I call you, we can just kind of go through it, take a deep breath, because most people just started, they're very nervous. All right? See you next time in class.